Happy Friday! Yay, it's Friday. I love it. Today is the day I'm not leaving my house. So if you want to see me, well, you'll just have to come to me because I'm staying home. It's going to be fantastic and amazing. And I'm super stoked about today because I have really been struggling, like hardcore struggling. And I was hoping it was just because the kids were home on winter break, 3 weeks of winter break. But no, it's me. I'm struggling and I'm trying to do everything and seriously, you can do it all, but you won't do it all well. And you'll be a freaking crazy lunatic at the end of it, right? So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to kind of share what my major aha was last night because I had this like literally, like the heavens parted. It's really pretty outside. The heavens parted and Jesus ascended on the cloud and he kind of bitch slapped me. I was like, Sarah, get it together. He didn't really. Jesus wouldn't bitch slap me. That's terrible. Sorry. Don't mean to offend you guys, but that's how I roll. I'm kind of irreverent if you haven't already noticed. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Sarah. I am a mom of 3 amazing little people. They're kind of terrorists as well, but they're good kids. And we live in Yuma, Arizona. And my passion is just about helping moms, especially figure things out and get better at being them because we're all on this journey. Nobody has it figured out. It doesn't get easier. That's a big crock of BS. If anyone's telling you it gets easier, it doesn't. You just get better. You get smarter. And then things change again, and it's all a balancing act, right? It's all about figuring out your rhythm and what is important to you, right? And just making it work. So last night, I made this amazing soup, okay? I made this, what is it called? It's Ellie Krieger, who I freaking love. It's a Tuscan vegetable soup or whatever, and I make it a party, and I throw in some Italian sausage. Super delicious, super healthy, great way to sneak in lots of veggies because you throw in spinach. It's so freaking good, you guys. I'll share the recipe if you haven't already seen it on my personal page. Anyway, so I made this amazing soup. I got this big, delicious baguette at the store, and I was going to make cheesy bread for the kids because, you know, let's face it, right? Sometimes your kids don't want to eat what you make, and I'm not in the market. I'm not like a freaking short order cook. I'm not adding that to my list of other 1,000 things I do, right? So I know they'll have cheesy bread, and I'll make them have a little bit of soup. So that was how last night was going, right? I made soup. I gave people cheesy bread. People didn't want to eat soup. My hubby, who I'm not going to bash on him at all, okay? I'm going to share my authentic, true story and hard with you, but I'm not bashing on him. He's a great guy. I really like him. He's a super awesome dad. He works really hard, and he provides for our family. I'm not attacking my husband. That's not what this post is about, but it's about me being real and sharing my life with you guys, okay? So he kind of has like a bitch fit about how, you know, the kids never want to eat this and that and blah, 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 whatever. They're kids, right? Like, I don't freaking care. I don't take it personally when they don't want to eat my food because I know it's delicious and that's all that matters. So you can have some of it or you can be hungry. Well, the girls decided they were going to make eggs. Fine, whatever. They're making eggs. They kind of make a mess, whatever. Again, not a big deal. And so we kind of finish eating and he, for some reason, decides he's going to clean the kitchen. And so he starts picking up the kitchen and he's just like, I wish I should just go back to work. No one appreciates me, or he didn't say no one appreciates me. He's like, I should just go back to work because it would be more fun there. That's what he says. He's like, I don't want to clean the kitchen. So I'm like, fine, take your phone, go have some quiet time because I get it. Sometimes you just need a break from all the children and the complaining and like, fine. So I'm like, go have your time out. It's okay. I'll clean the kitchen. So I start cleaning the kitchen. I'm like, you know what? Damn it. I don't want to clean the kitchen either. Why do I have to do everything? So you know where this is going, right? I decide that earlier in the day, I'd taken Charlotte for a haircut and I had my to-do list. I was updating my to-do list. I made an Instagram post about it because I love my to-do list. But you guys, lately, I cannot get caught up with my to-do list. Things just keep rolling from day to day to day and I can't get caught up. And I'm a hustler. I work hard all day long. I'm not sitting on my couch on Facebook all day. You see me on Facebook a lot, but I'm always hustling. Like I can't even watch a movie without multitasking because I feel like it's a waste of time, right? Like I should be folding laundry or whatever. So I decide, you know what? He's going to have some quiet time. It's easier, honestly, because he was in a mood. So just go in the room and I turned off the TV and I told the kids, like, this is your puzzle. It's not my puzzle. And I'm tired of looking at it. So put it back together or it goes in the trash. Because honestly, if you really love it, if it's that important to you, it wouldn't have been on the floor until I moved it to the table, blah, 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 right? So I get that I'm not a victim, right? I'm not like, I've trained my people how to behave. Truth, right? Like this is true in all of our relationships. Like you train people how you want to be treated. And sometimes it's okay to change that, to be like, wait. I don't like this arrangement, and to change it up and to like retrain people. But if you're not happy with the way things are going, well, more than likely it's not because you're a victim. It's because you had a piece in that relationship, right? You've set up you've established the way you're gonna interact and all that. Does that make sense? I hope so. If you're with me, hit a button or something so I know you're still there. So I know I need to give them more to-do lists. Or more chores. I know I need to have them fold their clothes and make their beds and do the stuff that I typically am doing because it's easier, right? And I totally own that I'm a perfectionist. I'm a recovering perfectionist. I need to surrender that. I need to surrender all of that because I have really high standards. And so last night, as I was pounding out my to-do list like a boss, because he was in his own timeout and the kids, the TV was off, so they were in their rooms picking up and stuff, and I cleaned the bathroom, I vacuumed, I did the rest of the laundry, I got it all out to fold. I was crazy. I was doing stuff, and it was making him hubby really nervous. He's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing, I'm just getting stuff done. He's like, well, whenever you get in the zone, it means something is wrong. And I was like, we're not going to have this conversation tonight because then it would be me stealing your thunder about feeling frustrated, so I understand where you're at. It's okay. We'll talk about it tomorrow. He kept pushing and pushing. And so finally I was like, look, this is me. This is how I roll. I bust my ass all day long. All day long. You just don't see it because you're at work. And then you come home and you get to clock out, right? But as moms, as women, we don't. We're here all the time. And for a long time, we just need to reestablish we just have to reestablish things, right? Because for a long time, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I love that. I love that. I was home with the kids, and so I really enjoyed keeping my house clean, and I enjoyed all that. But now I don't enjoy it as much, and I have a lot more I'm trying to balance. I'm balancing my coaching. I'm balancing my beach body. I'm balancing 3 kids who are in school now. Like, it's a whole different ballgame, and I do everything. And I'm not putting on my martyr cape. I'm not doing that at all. But that was my aha last night as I was like, busting my ass to get all these things done, which felt so good to check it off my to-do list. But I was like, I clean everything. I clean all the bathrooms. I do all the laundry. I scoop the litter box. I do all the budget. I pay all the bills. I deliver the bills that have to be delivered because some places around here, what's up with that? They're not on freaking automatic bill pay. Who has time for that? I need to drive through everywhere. I do everything. I grocery shop. And now I do 75% of the cooking because he used to do more cooking. And now for some reason I do most of the cooking, which, whatever. But I also do all the cleaning. I do it all the time. And I keep track of them, like, because he's at work for the majority of their awake time. I'm not complaining, but I just had this, like, epic aha. You can't do everything and do it all well. And I was like, well, no wonder I feel so stressed. I actually went to therapy, and I kind of, like, puked all this out, which is probably why I finally had that aha last night, because I'd been talking to her about it. But it was like, I feel really frustrated and I feel really resentful of even like fun things like play dates and coffee dates, because it's like, I just feel like everyone wants a piece of me. And I know that's an overgeneralization statement because not everyone wants a piece of me, but that's just how I feel. I feel like I don't ever have any time to just be and be quiet and stop and be like, it's okay, you can do this. Like, I never ever feel caught up. And over winter break, it kind of came to a head, right? Because they were home and there's more of them and they have more friends. And so it was a really busy time and I really struggled. And I kept getting from girlfriends who don't mean any harm by this comment at all. I love you all. I love you all. But I would hear from people, they'd be like, God, you're so busy. You're so busy. Why are you so busy? And it really freaking pissed me off because A, I felt judged, and B, because it was true. Because it was like, I felt convicted. Like, I am so busy. Why am I so busy? I don't want to be busy. I don't want to be a worker ant. I don't want to be going 1,000 miles a freaking minute all the time. I want to catch my breath. I want to enjoy my life. I don't just want to hustle through it. This sucks, you guys. And so I've been trying to figure out, okay, like what's the missing piece, right? And last night, that was it. It was like, I am doing the work of like 3 people. I have a full-time job thing. I'm a mom, right? I do every chore ever in this whole household. And so we kind of started to talk about it a little bit last night because he kept pushing. He's like, come on, let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. He's like, just tell me what you want me to do. Gentlemen, if there are any men on here, at some point, even if you watch the replay, we aren't your mom. We don't want to tell you what to do. Kind of like we don't want to tell you to bring us flowers. If you show up and like you see things that need to be done, you're not a visitor in your house. Do it. And I hear from a lot of you. I posted in one of my spouse's pages. I was like, do you guys, like, how do you negotiate your chores? Like, who does what? Do you do everything? Does your guy do things? Like, do you have certain roles? Like, I need help figuring that out. And a lot of women posted that their guys are great. And I'm not knocking my guy. He does a lot of great things, but we're both kind of alphas. And I think somewhere along the way, he decided it was easier to let me kind of be in charge. But you know, I'm in charge all the time. I'm the one that has to plan girls' trips. I'm always in charge. I don't want to be in charge. The other side of that is that I'm a total freaking control freak and I do want to be in charge. So I have to learn to surrender that, right? Because the Sarah show is exhausting. It's exhausting. And I just need to like take a deep breath and relax. I need to surrender something. So that was my epic aha. And that quote about how you can do it all, but you're not going to do it all well is super freaking true. It's super freaking true. So I made some notes that I wanted to share with you as I was like working through this in my head, and then I Googled some things so I could share some tips with you guys because I'm not perfect. I haven't gotten this figured out at all, but I know that if I'm struggling with it, you're struggling with it too. Are you struggling with it? As you watch this, even if you watch this not live, like you watch the replay, I want your comments. I want your feedback. I want to know that you're with me in the trenches and that you want to get better at being you every day, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. This is what I tell myself all the time. This is part of my mantra. Excuse me. I'm like choke on myself here. So I'm going to take a sip real fast. Okay, so I went to my girl Shailene because I love Shailene. Shailene is the Cat's Pajamas, and she's such a great source. She's such a great mentor. Like, I just love Shailene Johnson. If you don't know who I'm talking about, Shailene Johnson, she has a couple podcasts, and they're awesome, and you should totally check them out. Brenda's struggling too. Fist bumps, Brenda. We got this. Okay, so the first thing I pulled up was about time management versus your time focus, right? We all have the same amount of hours in our day. Like, nobody has extra hours. We all have the same amount of hours, and it's all about figuring out the best way to use those hours, right? And so even with fitness, I get it from people, I don't have time to work out. Well, I don't really either. But as with anything in your life, if it's important to you and if it matters, if you put a priority on it, you're going to make it happen. You're going to fit it in. You can't just use that excuse, I don't have time. Because we're all freaking busy, right? If it matters, and I hope that you believe that you matter, I hope you fit it in. Dude, it's the one thing, my workout, it's the one thing, it's not negotiable. Like, I do it every single day because it's a habit, because I made it a priority, because I know that even though I don't want to, you guys, there's some days I really don't want to, there's some days I don't make it all the way through, there's some days I just lay there and watch. But I still show up every single day. So it was such a true thing. Everyone has the same amount of hours in their day. It's just about how you choose to use them, what you choose to do. And so it's time to like let go of my control freakness and surrender some of that, right? Because there's kind of like this, there's some kind of weird jacked up mentality in our society where you ask people, how are you? Oh, I'm so busy. Is that a good thing? Should we be going around telling everyone how busy we are? No, but if you're not busy for some reason, it's like you're not being productive. You're not successful. Like you're not checking all the boxes. And that's bullshit. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to say I'm busy. I want to say I feel good. I feel relaxed. I feel calm. I feel excited. I don't want to say I'm freaking busy. Busy should be the new 4-letter word. Boo! I'm busy. I don't like it. Okay, so I'm taking off my superhero cape. Totally, okay? So, well, let's see. So you have to think about where your focus is going. Since we all have the same amount of hours in our day, where is your focus going? And so one of the tips is to sit down and kind of like just puke it on paper, right? Like, what is it you do? Like, write down all the things you do, all the things that are important to you, all the things that are on your to-do list, all the things that you have to do every single day. A little while ago, I did a poll. I asked the people of Amazing Ladies of Facebook how frequently they vacuum, because I vacuum every day. Sometimes I vacuum twice. I might have a problem. Clearly I do. Because when I asked the people of Facebook, I was like, I need to join a vacuum recovery group or something. But, right? And I'm not saying I'm going to stop that, because for me, having a clean house, having things a certain way brings me joy. It gives me peace. So I need to like negotiate that, and I need to either delegate some of that, or I need to bring someone in to help me with that, or I need to let go of something else so that I can maintain that with sanity, right? Yeah. How many times a week do you vacuum? You can drop it. Go ahead. I'm not judging you, but I vacuum a lot. Okay. Okay, so puke all that out, everything that's on your to-do list, and then you need to look at that list objectively and be like, okay, what on this list can only I do, right? Because there's some things only we can do, but there's a lot on our list that we think only we can do. That's not the case. That we can like delegate, that we can farm out, that we can ask our husbands to do, right? And last night when we had our conversation, he was like, well, tell me what to do. And I was like, I am not your mom, okay? I'm not your mom. I don't want to give one more person another chore. I need you to like open your big boy eyes and look around and see what needs to be done. You've lived with me for 19 years. You know my standards. If something needs to happen, freaking do it. Do it. Don't wait for me to tell you. It's kind of like flowers. If I have to tell you, it's already, the point is mute. I could have just done it myself. I could have just bought them myself. So look around, men, if you're here, and see what needs to be done, okay? So yeah, figure out what on that list are things that only you can do. And then what can you eliminate? Like what's fluff? What really doesn't need to happen? What is it that's going on in your head, stressing you out that you could eliminate, or you could farm out, or you could do it like once versus doing it every day? It's kind of one of those things where we have to take a cold, hard look at ourselves and be like, okay, I don't really need to do this, or I can ask for help, or I can like surrender this. I can surrender my perfection and control, because it's not about perfection. It's just about progress. And if it means you're sane, I think that we can say that's progress. Okay, so Google, my good friend, said, they did a poll of people. I don't have hard statistics, so just hold on to your hats. But it said the majority of people, when it comes to marriage, the top 3 things were faithfulness, this is important to people, good sex, and sharing chores, okay? So, faithfulness, good sex, and sharing chores. Well, I think common sense leads us all to get that if you're sharing chores, you're probably going to have more sex, right? I told my husband this last night. I was like, dude, if you just like took on something without me having to prompt you or ask you or remind you or nag you, you probably would get a lot more blowjobs, right? It's probably true. Yeah. Totally. So, number 3, sharing chores is probably going to lead to number 2, good sex. And then number 1, I'm not saying that faithfulness, that is a choice, my friends, right? We all have choices in life, and marriage is a choice. Like, all of these things are choices. You are in charge of your bus, like you're the driver of your bus and stuff. But, you know, when you don't feel like you're appreciated, and you don't feel like you're valued, and you don't feel like, when you feel like you're the one having to do everything, it can lead to those icky thoughts that kind of like start to like shine light into the cracks, and it can all kind of come apart. So I'm not saying that your husband not taking the trash out is an excuse to go, you know, have a thing with the freaking pool boy or whatever. I'm not at all, because it's all choices, right? We all have consequences and stuff. But it's true. It just makes sense that if they're helping, if we're helping them more, we're all going to have more sex, and then we're all going to be happier, and we're all going to have more endorphins, and we won't go around killing people, right? So these are all bonuses, and more shit will get done in less time. Win-win. Okay, so this leads us to having an honest conversation with our person, and not like a naggy, you need to do this, bitchy conversation, but just like an honest conversation. So I told him last night, I was like, I need you to like decide what it is that you want. Decide what you want to do. I don't want to assign more tasks. I don't want to assign more chores. I need you to be like, I'm going to take this. I'm going to own this. And then I have to step back. And if it's maybe not up to my standards, or maybe it's, you know, I'm not going to nitpick. I'm going to be appreciative and grateful that he's filling the gap, that he's stepping in. I think for a lot of us, that's really hard to do. I hear that. I hear women joke about that with the laundry. Like they refold everything. Don't. Because if someone is always going behind you and cleaning up or following you or redoing it, well then it makes you feel bad about yourself, right? It makes you less likely to do it. And that's, I think, what happens a lot of time with our spouses is we're correcting them, and so then they feel stupid and kind of embarrassed. And it's like, well, why did I bother? Why did I bother, right? So that was kind of my aha last night, that I have to surrender. It's not about perfection. It's about progress, and it's about just letting him own certain things. But I told him, like, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You need to freaking use your big boy eyes and look around and choose what new roles, what new tasks you're going to do. I don't need one more person to manage. Nope. I don't need that. So we also decided that because his big thing is about the food. Like, the kids don't want to eat the food we make, whatever. Like, I honestly don't care. Pick your battles. That's my thing. And they have pretty good palates for the most part, but they're kids. Kids are picky sometimes. So I was like, well, let's start having a family meeting. We need to have a weekly family meeting where we meal plan together. Everyone gets to put input so that there's not meals that they're like, whoa, I don't want that curry. Like, all of a sudden we all have input. So now you have to freaking eat it. And that goes for chores. Like, they can make their own beds. They can put away their own clothes. Like, I get it. I've been, like, wearing my superhero murder cape, and it's time to take it off because I can't do it. I can't do it anymore, you guys. Like, I don't freaking want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be busy. I don't want to feel like a freaking hamster anymore. And I am in charge of that. Like, I get to determine whether or not I'm going to carry that on and be that freaking martyr, crazy superhero person, or if I'm going to let go of some of it and just, you know, live a better freaking life, right? Okay, so the next piece to this is to identify your time sucks, because we all have the same amount of hours every single day. And so for me, working off of a to-do list really keeps me on task. And this is just who I am. Like, I've always been task-oriented. When I worked at Starbucks, like, I am kind of a drill sergeant. Like, I have certain things I like to do a certain way. I have rituals. I've shared that with you guys in the past, like the way I get things done. I like to have a to-do list because it's super, super satisfying to cross it off, right? To know that you're making a dent in your day and you're getting shit done. And so for me, you could do it on your phone, you can do it on a piece of paper, whatever. I have a steno notepad that fits in my purse, and I just carry that around and I check stuff off, and it feels really good. And then I feel like I can let stuff out of my brain. Like, I don't have to keep remembering things. Even if I add stuff on my phone, sometimes it's still like, it's like, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget. If I write it on my piece of paper, it's right there. Right there. It's about figuring those things out. And then maybe you are like, I don't know, maybe your time suck is YouTube, or maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's watching my live videos. I don't know what it is, but kind of identify those and give yourself a window. Say, okay, I'm going to use this window of my day, and I'm going to do this fun thing that's a time suck, but I'm not going to let it dominate, and I'm not going to let it leach into like 3 hours or whatever, if you have time for that. I don't know. But I think that's a big important thing. And so I know for me, with my business, with my Beachbody thing, I need to set business hours. I don't have business hours because I want to be accessible to people. I want to help people. And I really love what I do. It's not like a job. Like, it's passion. I love this. It's so fun to get to encourage other women on their fitness journeys and encourage them and all of that. And so I let it take over too much of my life. And I know that people can be super successful coaches and still help their people have amazing transformations by using business hours. And so this is one of those things that I keep rolling over. I'm like, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. No, I need to figure it out because I feel stressed out. I feel stressed out, and I just need I need to put a priority on that. So that's one of the things I'm going to do. One of the tips that I came across was to use alarms on your phone. So if there's something that you need to do and it's easy to get off track, or it's easy to procrastinate, I know for me this has helped as well. I'll put an alarm in my phone that's reoccurring, and then it goes off. You can choose your freaking alarm so it's not super annoying. And it just kind of is a gentle reminder to keep you on track, because we all have so many balls in the air. We're all trying to do so many things. And sometimes you just kind of need that, because again, we all have the same amount of hours in our day. It's just about prioritizing, figuring out what's important and where our focus needs to go. So I'm going to get better at scheduling my time. I know for me, I started talking about this yesterday when I went live about what should I talk about today. I started to tell a story and then I got distracted. Funny how that works. But a girlfriend of mine is getting married, and so a few of us, we went to San Diego last week to shop for dresses. And so I started to tell the story, and I will finish it now. And so I knew we were going to be leaving early in the morning, and we were going to be on the road, and I wouldn't have a chance to get my workout in. And for me, my workout is sanity. Like, I do my workout every single day. It's non-negotiable, even if it's just like moving my body a little. It doesn't have to be something crazy, but it's just that movement, right? It's a ritual. It helps me feel better, helps me feel saner, it helps release those endorphins. And so I got up at like 5. I got up at 5. It was insane. No one was awake. I didn't turn on any regular lights. I turned on my Christmas lights, because you know I love my Christmas lights. I turn on the fireplace, the beauty of a gas fireplace, and I lit candles, and I did some yoga. And I journaled a little bit, and I did my affirmations, and I felt so freaking amazing. Yeah, I sacrificed some sleep, but I felt so freaking good, and so I'm going to put that's a priority for me now, to do that once a week. Today, I tried to do it. I got up all secret squirrel, but Shani got up. She has, like, radar. Like, she's like, someone's awake. So she came out. So I'm putting that on I wanted to do it twice a week, but let's be real. I'm a mom, and sometimes it's hard to get up early. But I found that even getting up early, I know I'm tired, but I've taken time to fill my cup. And so I'm probably going to be tired even if I sleep that extra hour. But this way I filled my cup, and I've taken time for me, and I've cared for myself, right? And if you fill your cup, if you take care of you first, you're going to feel like a rock star, because you've just gotten that checked off of your box. But it's easier to love your people. It's easier to be less short-tempered with them, for me anyway. So that's something I'm going to do. And another thing I want to do, because this year's my New Year's resolution, or my focus, my intention is more self-care. It's taking time to do things for me that aren't necessarily like, you know, results oriented. I kind of have a problem. I'm a little bit driven. But yeah, I want to read a book, or I want to go have a massage. Like, I just want to go get a pedicure and not feel guilt about it. There's 10 other things I could be doing, right? But I'm going to get better at delegating and not wearing it like a freak, wearing all my chores and to-dos like a freaking cape, you know? So I'm going to block that off. I'm going to put it on my calendar. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy thought. I did this last year and I never ever once followed through, not a single time. So this time I'm putting more of an emphasis on it, because that's what it comes down to. It's about figuring out what your priorities are and then actually putting your energy in that direction. So I'm going to block off time at least once a week, maybe twice, depending on what's happening, to get up early, to fill my cup, and then to have some fun that's not results oriented, that's just fun, so that I can have a coffee date and I don't feel resentful and I don't feel like crabby that I'm wasting, that I'm not getting shit done. Isn't that just messed up? I feel really bad saying that, and I really struggled with that over winter break with the play dates and stuff, because it was fun and I'm flattered that people want to hang out, and I'm not saying anything bad, but it's just on me that I feel so much intense pressure to get so much done. And so that's why last night's aha, that like I do it all and I don't need to do it all. That's on me. That's my decision that I've made to do it all. But I'm saying now, I'm drawing the line in the sand. I'm like, no more. No more. I can't do this. It's not fun. I don't enjoy it. I'm not getting satisfaction from it. So I'm going to back off. I'm going to surrender some of it. And then I'm going to surrender the guilt that goes with that. I don't know why we have so much guilt. I saw one of my amazing mama friends, Carrie Gill. I love you, Carrie. She posted this photo of her laying on the couch, and her kids were like on their tablets or whatever, and she was watching a TV show, and she's like, why do I feel such guilt about this? I don't know. Why do we feel guilt? Do you feel guilt? Is it just me? I don't know. So we have to surrender the guilt. We have to surrender all the things we think we have to do, and then we have to surrender the guilt and be okay with it, and be okay with things maybe not being as perfect as we want. It's tricky, right? All right, so I'm going to give you a couple calls to action. Oh, are you so excited? I'm so excited for you. Okay, so I want you, my friends, to comment below. As you're watching this now, if you watched it again later, if you missed part of this, you should go back and see what I was talking about in the beginning. But comment what you're going to surrender. Like, what is it that you think that only you can do that honestly you probably can let go of? You can probably delegate it. You can probably let someone else in. I know one of my goals with my coaching business was to make enough extra income where I could have yard people come in, because I was one more thing. I was mowing the grass all the time. Oh, the grass grows fast here, man. So I did that. And next is house cleaner, which quite frankly, I'm making enough to do that, but it's surrendering control. It's letting someone else in and like knowing that I'm not going to clean the house before they come. Who's done that? Have you done that before? Where you have someone come clean your house, but you clean it before? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm owning it with you. I'm sharing my like warts. I'm not going to do that. So I want to know what you are going to surrender. I want to know what tips you have to share, because I'm still trying to figure this out, and maybe you've been rocking this part of your life and you can like drop some truth bombs on us. If that's the case, please share. Don't be stingy. We need to know. What do we need to do? And then if you're with me and you struggle with the taking care of you, filling your own cup piece, like I want you to own it, and I want you to say that you're going to commit to it with me in 2017. It's not about like suddenly changing who you are, because we're still the same people we were in 2016, but it's just about creating an intention and a new focus and realizing that that's the direction we're going to send our energy in. So I matter. I'm not a freaking bitch. I'm not a slave. I'm not a freaking maid. I matter, and I get to have time off. I get to have time off. I'm not going to tell my husband he can't go play in the garage and reload bullets and do that stuff. I'm not going to judge him for that. I'm not going to like criticize him. And so I need to extend that same grace to myself and give myself time off, because he encourages that. I just don't do it. I've been in martyr mode, and it's making me a Krabby Patty. So if you are committing to that with me, I want to know. I want to celebrate you. I want to high five you. Yes, change your focus, change your life. Let go of the guilt. It's so bad. So I don't want to scramble anymore. I want to freaking enjoy my life, and I don't want, at the end of my life, my gravestone to be like Sarah Nelson, mother, wife, whatever. She loved to vacuum. It needs to say more than that, you guys. Seriously. And every single week I've started putting, I love my inspirational quotes. You know that's about me. One of my amazing friends, Katie, gave me this cool little box of inspirational quotes. And so I love them, but I don't use them enough, right? And so I got a day planner. I actually have a couple, kind of a planner. And so I have decided I'm going to take one of those cards every week and I'm going to tape it to my open day planner, right? And that will be my kind of my like focus for the week. And so this one was so perfect. Oh my gosh. Okay, it says the future turns out to be something you make instead of something you find, which is so true, right? It's so true with this, with all of our lives. Like, we're not victims. You're not a victim. You are completely in charge of your life, and things are going to happen to us along the way that are going to affect your story. They're part of your journey, right? But it doesn't define you. It's not like the end of your story. It's just a little piece of it, and it's a little reflection of where you're at. So the future turns out to be something you make instead of something you find. And I don't want to find myself at the end of my life with a freaking to-do list and maybe a clean house, but I feel stressed the fuck out and I've got all white hair and right? Like, I don't want that. I want to live a good freaking life. I want to feel I want to have a good life, and I want to enjoy it, and I want to have fun, and I want to be able to relax, and I don't want to have guilt anymore. And I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of shitting all over myself. Shitting, it's just bad. It's bad, bad, bad. No more shitting. So anyways, my friends, I hope this helped you. I really want to hear what you have to say, so please let me know. Share this with a friend if you think that it will help them, because I think as women, this is something we all really struggle with, and I for one, am done. I'm done. I quit. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to be more intentional with my time, and I'm going to be nicer to myself, more gentler, and I hope you do the same. So, you're the driver of your bus. Beep, beep. Make it count, my friends. Have a great day.